Welcome to Monk's Temple. If you are listening to this now, I invite you to find a comfortable position. Perhaps you are lying down, or sitting in a favorite chair. Maybe you are in motion, traveling from one place to another. Wherever you are, allow your body to settle. Let the weight of your being be fully supported by the surface beneath you. Notice the contact points, your feet on the floor, your back against the chair, your head resting. And as you notice, take one slow, deliberate breath. In through your nose, filling your lungs gently, and out through your mouth, releasing a sigh. Do not change anything yet. Simply observe the landscape of your inner world. The thoughts are like clouds passing in a vast sky. The feelings are like weather patterns, shifting and moving. You are not the clouds, nor are you the weather. You are the sky itself, spacious, aware, and inherently calm. For decades, I have walked the quiet paths of monasteries and sat in the hushed presence of ancient teachings. The most profound lesson, the one that whispers beneath all the others, is this: the universe operates on a principle of intelligent resonance, not forceful effort. We have been taught a story of struggle. We believe that to get what we want, we must chase it. To become who we wish to be, we must strive and force our way into a new shape. This story creates a fundamental tension, a friction between you and the natural flow of existence. Today, we will explore a different story. One not of chasing, but of allowing. Not of building, but of remembering. Not of shouting into the void, but of tuning yourself to a frequency so clear that the void echoes back your deepest truth. If the sense of peace you feel right now is something you wish to return to, consider gently subscribing to the Monk's Temple. It is a simple act, like planting a seed of intention, creating a sanctuary in your digital world where reminders of your true nature can find you. Let us begin with a principle from the heart of Buddhist wisdom, the idea of effortless receiving. Imagine, if you will, a single drop of dew on the petal of a morning flower. The flower does not strain to create the dew. It does not shout at the dawn or anxiously shake its leaves. It simply opens. It presents its delicate form to the sky, and in the quiet, cool meeting of night and day, the atmosphere gifts it a perfect, shimmering jewel. The flower's only work is to be itself, openly and authentically. Our struggle often begins when we mistake ourselves for the weather, trying to control the atmosphere, rather than realizing we are the flower, designed to receive simply by being. I recall a time many years ago when I was lost, not in a forest, but in my own life's purpose. I had a map, a detailed, logical, step-by-step plan, that led to a specific destination called success. I followed it relentlessly, pushing through fatigue, ignoring whispers of doubt, forcing connections that felt brittle. The more effort I applied, the more the destination seemed to recede, like a mirage on a hot road. Exhausted, I retreated to a simple cabin by a slow-moving river. For days, I did nothing of value. I watched the water. I noticed how the river never pushed. It flowed around rocks, carried leaves, reflected the sky. It was powerful, not because of its force, but because of its persistence in being exactly what it was. One morning, sitting on the bank in utter stillness, the answer to a problem that had plagued my work for months surfaced in my mind, complete and elegant. I had not been thinking about it. I had stopped trying. In the space of that not trying, the universe delivered what all my striving could not. The river did not bring me the answer, my stillness allowed me to hear it. This is the first key: your striving creates static. Your stillness tunes the channel, ****. This leads us to a powerful Buddhist concept, sunyata, often translated as emptiness or spaciousness. It does not mean nothingness. It means the fertile void from which all things arise. Think of the cup in your hand. Its usefulness is not in the clay, but in the empty space inside it. That space is what holds the tea. The silence between musical notes is what gives the melody its shape and meaning. Your mind, your life, also contains this sunyata. But we fill it to the brim with plans, worries, memories, and demands. We leave no space for the new, for the unexpected blessing, for the whisper of intuition. We are like a host who has filled every chair in the house, so when the most important guest arrives, there is nowhere for them to sit. The practice is to begin gently clearing the chairs. This is the art of release. Let me illustrate with an original story. There was a master carpenter named Alara, renowned for her beautiful, singing bowls. She was asked her secret. She said it was in the final stage. After weeks of shaping, hammering, and polishing the metal, she would take the perfect, silent bowl into her studio. For hours, she would not touch it. She would sit with it, and with a small, soft hammer, she would tap it lightly, listening. She was listening for the note that was trapped inside the metal, the bowl's true voice. Then, with precise, minimal strokes, she would strike specific points, not to add anything, but to remove the tiny, invisible tensions that were imprisoning the sound. With each gentle tap, a note would begin to ring out, purer and clearer, until the bowl vibrated with a tone so sweet it seemed to come from another world. Her genius was not in creation, but in liberation. She removed what was in the way. You are that singing bowl. Your peace, your wisdom, your purpose, they are not outside you. They are your fundamental note, waiting to resonate. The tensions of control, fear, and desperate effort are the invisible stresses trapping your sound. The universe is the musician, waiting to hear you sing. Your work is not to build a new note from scratch, but to have the courage to sit still and listen for your own, and then to allow the gentle, precise taps of experience to release it. This is why effort often fails. You are trying to build a note on top of the tension, adding more metal, more force, when all that is required is a subtle, allowing strike in the right place. So, as we rest here together, I invite you to this first practice. Do not try to change anything. Do not try to be peaceful. Simply ask yourself, where am I holding tension in the belief that it is helping me? Is it in your shoulders, carrying a weight? Is it in your jaw, holding back words? Is it in your mind, gripping a specific outcome? Breathe into that space. Imagine your awareness as a warm, forgiving light, shining on that clenched place. And with your next exhale, imagine you are not forcing it to relax, but you are simply giving it permission to soften, just 1 degree. Like Alara's hammer, you are not adding force. You are offering release. You are creating sunyata, spaciousness, within your own being. In that new space, a new note can begin to sound. This is the foundation of everything we will explore. The universe is not a puzzle to be solved by force, but a song to be joined through resonance. Your first act of power is to stop singing off-key from strain, and to listen for the true pitch of your soul. Now, I'd like you to bring your attention to a different kind of space. Not the space within your body, but the space within your mind. We often think of our beliefs as solid things. Concrete facts about who we are and how the world works. We build homes out of these beliefs and live inside them, thinking the walls are permanent, the roof is final. But Buddhism presents a radical idea: these walls are made of light and shadow, not brick and mortar. They are sustained only by the energy of your continued attention. One of the most pivotal teachings of the Buddha is that our perception shapes our reality. What you believe you deserve, you unconsciously build a world to prove. Let me share a story from my own life, a lesson learned in a dusty marketplace far from here. I was traveling, and in a small stall, I saw a beautiful, hand-woven rug. The colors were deep, the pattern intricate. I wanted it, but a voice immediately said, "It's too fine for someone like you. It belongs in a richer person's home." This was not a logical thought. It was a deep, old whisper of unworthiness. I haggled half-heartedly and walked away. Later, a fellow traveler, a woman with a calm demeanor, admired the same rug. She didn't see its cost, she saw its beauty aligning with her own space. She approached the vendor with a different energy, not of wanting, but of recognizing a match. She paid a fair price and walked away with her treasure. I was left with the emptiness of my own story. The rug was never the issue. The marketplace was a mirror. It reflected back to me my own belief that beautiful things were for others, and to her, it reflected her belief that beauty was her natural companion. The universe, in its neutral wisdom, fulfilled both our internal commands. This is the profound, often unsettling principle of karma of belief. Your core beliefs are not passive opinions, they are active architects. They send out scouts into the world to gather evidence that supports their blueprint. If you believe the world is hostile, you will notice every slight, every frustration, and your body will brace for the next one, thereby attracting defensive situations. If you believe you are supported, you will notice serendipities, kindnesses, and opportunities, and your open posture will invite more. The Buddha's path is, in part, the meticulous and compassionate work of inspecting these blueprints. You must ask, who drew these plans? Are they still true? Do they serve the life I wish to live now? I once knew a gardener named Sam. He had 2 plots of land, side by side, with the same sun, the same soil, the same rain. In one plot, he planted with a heart full of doubt. He'd mutter, "Probably won't grow here. The soil looks poor. Birds will get the seeds." He tended it grudgingly. In the other plot, he planted with a sense of quiet confidence. "Let's see what wonders want to grow here," he'd say. He tended it with curiosity and care. The first plot yielded sparse, wilted plants. The second plot burst into a chaotic, glorious abundance. The difference was not in the land, nor entirely in his actions. It was in the invisible fertilizer of his belief. His doubt was a toxin. His curiosity was a nutrient. Your mind is the plot of land where your life grows. What is the quality of the silent conversation you are having with it? This is why the practice of mindfulness is so crucial in Buddhism. It is not just about watching your breath to be calm. It is the practice of becoming the watchman at the gate of your own mind. You learn to see the thoughts that enter, not as truth, but as visitors. You can say to the old, fearful thought, "I see you. You are the story of not enough. You may visit, but you do not get to build the furniture here anymore." This takes practice. It feels unnatural at first, because we are used to being slaves to the thought stream. But as you practice, you begin to choose which visitors to entertain, which beliefs to feed with your attention. You start to consciously draft a new blueprint. Here is a simple practice to try as you listen. Think of a gentle desire, something that feels light and good. Perhaps it is a feeling of peace, or a moment of connection. Now, instead of thinking, "I want that," try on the feeling, "This is already true in the heart of me." Feel the difference in your body. The first is a reaching, a slight tension. The second is an allowing, a softening. For just 30 seconds, let yourself inhabit the feeling that what you seek is already a truth within your being. You are not lying to yourself. You are tuning your instrument to the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. The universe responds to frequency, not to want. Want is a frequency of lack. The feeling of already being is a frequency of possession. Which frequency do you think attracts its match? This brings us to a powerful metaphor, the lighthouse and the storm. You are a lighthouse. Your core belief is the light you emit, steady, rotational, unchanging. The storms are the circumstances of your life, the chaos, the disappointments, the unexpected events. A weak lighthouse, one that doubts its own light, will be consumed by the story of the storm. It will think, "The storm is too powerful. My light is useless." It may even flicker and go out. But a strong lighthouse knows its purpose is not to stop the storm. It cannot control the weather. Its purpose is to shine its light consistently, regardless. It knows that to the ship lost in that very storm, that steady beam is everything. It is the difference between disaster and safe harbor. Your unwavering belief in your own worth, in peace, in goodness, is that light. The storm will pass. It always does. But did you stay lit? Did you remain a beacon for your own soul? The ships that are meant to find you, the opportunities, the people, the solutions, will navigate toward that steady light. But they cannot see you if you have chosen to hide your beam within the story of the storm. Your work today is this: become the lighthouse keeper. Your only duty is to tend the flame of your highest belief about yourself and your life. When the storm rages, and it will, your job is not to fight the rain, but to make sure the light is clean, the lens is clear, and the mechanism turns. Keep shining. The universe is the ocean, and it will bring what is aligned to your shore. Let us now travel to a concept that feels, in our modern world, like a forgotten language: the art of divine timing. We live in a culture of instant everything. A delay is seen as a failure. A waiting period is interpreted as a no. We stand at the microwave, urging the seconds to pass faster, and we bring this same frantic impatience to the unfolding of our deepest lives. But what if the pause is not empty? What if the delay is the most crucial part of the creation? In Buddhism, there is a deep reverence for natural rhythm, or dharma. This is the understanding that all phenomena arise and pass away according to causes and conditions that are vast, interconnected, and infinitely wise. A seed does not consult the calendar. It rests in the dark earth, gathering, transforming, waiting for the exact confluence of temperature, moisture, and its own internal readiness. To dig it up every day to check on it would be to kill it. Your deepest aspirations are those seeds. Your impatience is the spade. I want to tell you about a potter I met in a small coastal village. He made teacups of such simplicity they brought tears to your eyes. I asked him his process. He said the clay must rest. After he wedges it, after he centers it, he wraps it in damp cloth and lets it sit for a precise period. "If I skip this," he said, "the clay will fight me on the wheel. It will crack in the kiln. The rest is not inactivity. It is the activity of becoming unified, of letting the memory of being rigid earth dissolve into the potential of being a cup." He called it the clay's meditation. Your life, too, requires these periods of rapt rest. The time between jobs, the quiet after a heartbreak, the gestation of an idea, these are not voids. They are your damp cloth period. The universe is allowing the particles of your experience to settle, to unify, to become ready for the wheel. Rushing this process creates only fragile, cracked vessels. This is deeply tied to the Buddhist principle of anicca, or impermanence. We suffer because we want to freeze a moment, to hold a feeling, to make a circumstance permanent. We want the bud to be the flower now. But the bud's beauty is in its promise, in its patient journey toward opening. The flower's beauty is in its brief, glorious peak. The falling petal's beauty is in its surrender. Each stage has its own perfection, its own purpose in the cycle. When you resist the stage you are in, when you resent the bud for not being the flower, you miss the entire gift of being alive. You are arguing with a fundamental law of existence. Trusting timing is the ultimate act of harmony with anicca. It is saying, I accept this present stage as necessary and perfect. I will be fully here, so I am ready for the next stage when it naturally arrives. Let me share an original story about a bridge. In a remote valley, there was a deep chasm, and the people needed a bridge. A young, energetic builder arrived first. He worked feverishly, hauling stones, building supports from his side. He grew frustrated as progress was slow, the materials never quite right. He exhausted himself and left, declaring the task impossible. Later, an older builder came. She sat for a long time on the edge, listening to the wind, observing the rock faces. She did not start building for many days. Instead, she sent small, clever kites across the chasm, carrying light threads. Others, on the far side, found these threads and attached stronger cords, then ropes. Slowly, a delicate connection was established before a single stone was laid. This connection guided everything. The bridge, when built, seemed to grow from both sides at once, meeting perfectly in the middle. The first builder tried to force a solution from one perspective. The second builder trusted that the other side of the chasm, the universe's side, was also at work. She created a connection first, then allowed the structure to follow. Your goals are like that bridge. You are on one side of the chasm. The realized dream is on the other. Forcing, striving, building only from your side with your limited materials leads to exhaustion. But when you pause to send out threads of trust, through calm intention, aligned action, and a surrendered heart, you allow the intelligence of the universe to meet you halfway. The connection forms invisibly first. Then, and only then, can the solid structure manifest in the visible world. The waiting is not waiting. It is the crucial time of sending out threads and allowing the connection to be woven. So how do we practice this in the daily grind of life? We cultivate active patience. This is not passive resignation. It is the most dynamic state of all. It is to be like a surfer, poised on their board, not paddling frantically, but feeling the ocean swell build beneath them. They are alert, calibrated, muscles ready. Their patience is a deep conversation with the water. They cannot force the perfect wave, but they can be so impeccably ready that when it rises, they are part of its motion. Your job in the waiting period is not to stare at the horizon demanding a wave. Your job is to get on your board. To prepare your body, your mind, your skills. To become so aligned with the element of your desire, be it love, creativity, peace, that when its energy swells toward you, you are already in harmony with it. You catch the wave not by chasing it, but by having the patience to be precisely where it will break. This brings us to a tender metaphor, the night garden. There is a type of flower, like the night-blooming cereus, that opens only in the deepest dark, for just one night. If you stand over it with a flashlight, demanding it bloom at noon, you will see nothing but a green bud. You will conclude it is not a flower at all. But if you respect its rhythm, if you visit the garden at midnight, you will witness a breathtaking, fragrant miracle that exists on a different clock. Many of your heart's deepest blooms are night-blooming flowers. The conditions for their opening are not the harsh light of forced effort, but the gentle, private darkness of trust, of release, of inwardness. The world's timetable shouts for daytime marigolds. But your soul may be cultivating orchids that unfold in the silent hours. Do not uproot them because they do not perform on demand. Learn to visit your own inner garden at the quiet hours, and you may be astounded by what has been blossoming all along, unseen. As we rest here, I invite you to this reflection. Identify one area of your life where you feel the itch of impatience. Feel the tension of, it should be happening now. Now, breathe into that itch. Imagine it is not an enemy, but a signal. A signal that you are focused on the bud, not the flower. Gently, in your mind's eye, wrap that desire in a damp cloth of trust. Place it in the cellar of your heart and say, I tend to my readiness. I trust your unfolding. This is not abandoning your desire. It is planting it in the fertile dark. Now, turn your attention to what you can prepare, your surfboard, your night-visiting eyes. This is active patience. This is how you cooperate with divine timing. Now, I invite you to consider the very air around you. Not as empty space, but as a vibrant, living medium, much like the ocean is to a fish. We move through this medium constantly, and it carries within it the essence of a profound Buddhist principle, interbeing, or *Thich Nhat Hanh's beautiful term, interar. Nothing exists independently. The paper in a book inter is with the tree, the rain, the logger, the sunshine. You interar with everyone you have ever met, every word you have read, every breath of air you have taken. Your being is a nexus in a vast, shimmering web of life. When you feel separate, when you feel alone in your striving, you are believing an illusion. Your every thought, your every emotion, sends a ripple through this entire web. The universe feels it. And it responds not to the isolated content of your wish, but to the quality of the ripple you send. Think of it this way, you are a tuning fork in a room full of tuning forks. When you are struck by fear or desperation, you vibrate with a jarring, discordant frequency. That vibration resonates through the web and attracts other energies vibrating at that same frantic pitch, more worry, more obstacles, more confirmation of lack. But when you are struck by calm certainty, by trust, you emit a clear, pure tone. And across the room, the tuning forks that match that harmony begin to hum in response, almost of their own accord. Opportunities, people, resources. They are those other forks. They are not created by your tone, they are awakened by it. Your work is not to run around the room hitting other forks. Your work is to become so clear, so centered, that your very presence sets the music in motion. I learned this not from a book, but from a beekeeper. He tended his hives with a preternatural calm. He never wore protective gear, a fact that astonished me. The bees, he said, feel your vibration before they smell your fear. If you enter the hive as an invader, clenched and fearful, they will defend their home. But if you enter as a humble visitor, with respect and a quiet mind, they sense no threat. You become part of the hive's energy. He would place his bare hands gently into the swirling mass of bees, and they would crawl over him peacefully. He was not controlling the bees. He was harmonizing with them. He understood interbeing. Your life is the hive. Your thoughts are your vibrational entrance. Do you enter your own dreams with the clenched energy of an invader demanding honey? Or with the calm, respectful presence of a keeper tending to a sacred relationship? This is the heart of what some call the law of attraction, but which Buddhism would see as the natural law of karmic resonance. Your karma, in this sense, is not punishment or reward, but the undeniable cause and effect of your energetic output. Your intention and inner state are the cause. The circumstances that coalesce around you are the effect. A mind at war creates a battlefield. A mind at peace creates a sanctuary. It is not mystical, it is physics. Energy matches energy. Let me tell you an original story about two painters commissioned to paint a view of the sea from the same cliff. The first painter, Eris, was anxious. He wanted to create a masterpiece to prove his worth. He looked at the sea and saw a subject to conquer. His strokes were forceful, his colors intense. He painted the waves as dramatic threats, the sky as a looming ceiling. The result was technically impressive but felt turbulent, leaving the viewer uneasy. The second painter, Kale, arrived and simply sat for a full day, watching. He felt the salt air, the rhythm of the waves, the vastness. He did not see a subject, but an experience to commune with. When he painted, his strokes were fluid, his colors blended softly. He painted the same sea, the same sky, but his painting felt expansive, calm, and deeply inviting. Viewers would sigh, feeling a sense of peace. Both were skilled. Both painted the same thing. But Eris painted his inner state of striving onto the canvas. Kale allowed the sea's state of vast serenity to paint itself through him. He became a conduit. Your life is your canvas. Are you painting with the brush of your anxious ego, or are you allowing the universe to flow through the brush of your surrendered heart? So, the practical application. How do we cultivate this clear, resonant tone? We practice vibrational hygiene. Just as you brush your teeth daily, you must clean your vibrational field. This begins with noticing your inner dialogue. That constant stream of commentary is your tuning fork being struck moment by moment. When you hear the critical, fearful, or lack-focused thought, you do not have to fight it. Simply acknowledge it. There is the old song of worry. And then, consciously choose to strike a different note. It can be a simple mantra of feeling, I am at peace. I am supported. I am open. You are not denying the worry, you are offering your attention to a different frequency. Over time, the clear note becomes the dominant tone, and the discordant ones fade from lack of attention. The bees of your experience will respond to the new keeper. Let us explore a final, grounding metaphor for this part. The lotus and the mud. In Buddhism, the lotus flower is a supreme symbol of enlightenment, pure, beautiful, rising unsullied above the water. But its roots are firmly embedded in the thick, dark mud at the bottom of the pond. The mud is not its enemy, it is its nourishment. The lotus does not strive to be a rose in a clean garden. It transforms the mud itself into its majestic form. Your challenges, your past pains, your messy emotions, they are your mud. You are not meant to escape them to find peace. You are meant to learn the alchemy of transforming them, through the sunlight of your awareness, into the very substance of your growth. Your resonant, clear tone is not a note that exists in a sterile vacuum. It is the song that the lotus makes as it rises, a song that includes, and is made possible by, the mud. When you try to reject parts of your experience, you reject the mud, and thus sever your own roots. True resonance comes from wholeness, from sending out a vibration that says, I am here, with all of this, and I am open to the transformation. That is a frequency the universe recognizes as authentic, powerful, and ready to receive. As we pause here, bring to mind one situation that feels like mud in your life. Instead of pushing it away, imagine for a moment that it holds a hidden nutrient. What might it be teaching you? Strength? Compassion? Boundaries? Surrender? Breathe, and imagine your awareness as sunlight reaching down into that mud. You are not the mud. You are the sunlight and the potential flower. Feel the shift from resistance to curiosity. This is the beginning of vibrational hygiene, cleaning not by scrubbing away the mud, but by beginning the alchemical process of growth from within it. Let us now turn our attention inward, to the very source of your experience, the witness behind your eyes. In the hustle of life, we become identified with the contents of our mind, the thoughts, the emotions, the reactions. We say, I am angry, I am worried, I am lost. Buddhism offers a liberating shift. You are not the storm of emotion, you are the awareness that observes the storm. This is the essence of mindfulness, or sati. It is the foundational practice of waking up from the dream of being your thoughts. When you can rest as the awareness, the storms may still come, but they no longer sweep you away. You find yourself in a place of unshakable calm, a calm that is not dependent on the weather outside. I remember a lesson from a silent retreat, taught not with words, but with a stone. The teacher placed a smooth, gray stone in my palm and instructed me to simply feel it, its weight, its temperature, its texture. For a few minutes, that was all there was, the stone and the sensation. Then, a thought arose, this is boring. Instantly, my experience split. There was the direct sensation of the stone, and there was the commentary about the sensation. The teacher softly said, notice the space between the feeling and the thought about the feeling. Who is in that space? That space was awareness itself, unchanging, peaceful, simply knowing. The thought was a cloud passing through that sky. I had spent my life believing I was the cloud. This was the first glimpse that I was the sky. This understanding is your anchor in every storm. Your true nature is awareness, and awareness is inherently calm, it is like the depths of the ocean. On the surface, there may be towering waves whipped up by hurricane winds. But 50 feet down, there is a profound stillness, a quiet movement, untouched by the chaos above. The storm is real, but it is not the whole truth. Your reactive thoughts and panicked emotions are the surface waves. Your practice is to learn to sink beneath them, to find that depth where your true calm resides. From there, you can see the storm clearly, without being tossed by it. You can make choices from clarity, not from panic. Let me share an original story about an ancient bell in a mountain temple. This bell was so revered that it was said its sound could clear the mind of confusion. A young seeker, plagued by anxious thoughts, traveled far to hear it. The bell ringer, an old monk, welcomed him. The seeker expected a grand, thunderous chime. But when the monk struck the bell, it produced only a faint, dull thud. Disappointed, the seeker said, "I thought this bell brought peace." The monk smiled. "It does. But first, you must empty it." He showed the seeker that the bell was filled to the brim with old leaves, dirt, and a bird's nest. "The bell's true sound is pure and clear," the monk said, "but it cannot ring if it is full of other things." Together, they gently cleaned it out. When the monk struck it again, a deep, vibrant, waves of peace tone emanated, washing over the valley and seeming to vibrate within the seeker's very bones. His mind grew still. The bell had not changed. It had been freed. Your mind is that bell. Your pure, clear awareness is its true sound. Your clinging thoughts, your stored worries, your mental clutter, they are the leaves and the nest. The practice of mindfulness is not about adding a new sound. It is the gentle, patient process of emptying the bell so your own innate clarity can resonate. This leads us to a vital Buddhist tool, non-identification. When a feeling of anger arises, instead of saying, "I am angry," practice saying, "There is anger." Or even more skillfully, awareness is aware of a sensation labeled anger. This creates a critical distance. It turns the emotion from a tyrant that controls you into a passing phenomenon that you can observe with compassion. You can then ask, what is this anger needing? What is it protecting? This is how you befriend your inner world, instead of being at war with it. From the depth of the ocean, you can see the wave without becoming it. Now, let's embody this with a metaphor, the mountain and the weather. Sit and imagine yourself as a vast, ancient mountain. Your body is the stone and soil, grounded and enduring. Your awareness is the summit, eternally present. Now, imagine the weather of your life. Some days, the sun of joy shines warmly on your slopes, the pleasant thoughts and feelings. Some days, the rain of sadness falls, the difficult emotions. Storms of anxiety may roll through, with thunderous worries and lightning bolts of fear. Fog of confusion may obscure the view. The mountain does not chase the sun. It does not fear the storm. It does not try to hold on to the pleasant weather or push away the harsh. It simply is. The weather changes, sometimes violently, but the mountain remains, rooted, immovable, watching it all pass. You are that mountain. The changing contents of your mind and life are the weather. Your practice is to feel your own mountainness. To sink your roots into the earth of the present moment. To know your summit awareness that has seen 1,000 storms come and go. From this place, you are unshakable. As we rest here, I invite you to a short practice. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Feel the solid support beneath you. Now, imagine roots growing from the base of your spine, or from your feet, deep down into the center of the earth, stable, grounding, anchoring. You are the mountain. Now, bring to mind a current worry or irritation, something small. See it as a cloud, just drifting into your sky. Observe it. Label it gently, worrying, planning, aching. Notice that you, the mountain, are vast and still. The cloud is small and moving. It may hover for a while, but you do not need to follow it. You are rooted. Your summit, your awareness, is clear. Breathe, and feel the stability of simply being the one who watches the weather. This is your home base. This is the calm that was never lost, only forgotten. This innate calm is not a state you achieve. It is a presence you remember. It is the sky you always are. The more you practice returning to the mountain, the more you live from the depth of the ocean, the less power the passing storms will have to dictate your peace. You will have found the center that holds, always. We have touched upon the calm, the awareness, the mountain within. Now, let us explore what grows from that fertile, still ground. For a mind that is no longer churned by desperation becomes like a clear pool of water, able to reflect the moon perfectly. In this clarity, a new kind of power emerges, the power of clear intention. This is not the same as forceful will. Will is a clenched fist pushing against reality. Intention is an open hand, palm up, holding a seed. It is a quiet, focused signal sent from your deepest calm into the field of possibilities. In Buddhism, this relates to the power of sankalpa. A resolve or intention set from a place of alignment, not lack. Imagine you are in a still forest at dawn. You whisper a wish. Because the air is so quiet, that whisper travels far and clear, heard by the universe. Now imagine you are in the middle of a bustling, noisy city, shouting the same wish with red-faced effort. The shout is louder, but it is distorted, lost in the din, born of strain. Which is more likely to be heard as a true signal? Your calm mind is the still forest. Your desperate mind is the noisy city. The universe is always listening, but it responds to the quality of the signal, not the volume of the noise. I learned this from watching a master archer. He would stand before the target for an impossibly long time, bow drawn, arrow nocked. To an impatient observer, nothing was happening. But everything was happening. He was not fighting the bow. He was not straining toward the target. He was in a state of profound union. His body, the bow, the arrow, the target, and the very air between them became one field. The release of the arrow was not an act of force, it was the inevitable conclusion of that perfect alignment. It seemed to fly on its own. Thwack. A bullseye. He described it as letting the target pull the arrow from the string. Your intention is that arrow. Your calm, unified awareness is the archer in alignment. The target is your heart's desire. You do not force the arrow to the target. You become so unified with the entire field that the target itself seems to draw your intention into manifestation. This is the subtle dance of aligned action. Action taken from a place of frantic chasing is like shooting arrows blindly into the dark, exhausting your quiver. Action taken from deep calm and clear intention is like that single, inevitable release. It feels effortless, precise, and true. You are not doing more. You are doing what is necessary, from the right place within you. The universe conspires to meet that action because it recognizes the harmony in it. Let me tell you an original story about a weaver named Anya. She worked on a vast tapestry, a commission for a king. For months, she worked from sketches, forcing colors together, trying to make the image match the plan in her head. The cloth grew stiff, the colors muddied. Frustrated, she finally set it aside. One morning, in a state of quiet resignation, she sat before the empty loom with no plan. She simply began to weave the colors that brought her joy, the deep blue of a twilight she loved, the soft green of new moss. She followed no pattern, only a feeling. Days passed in this flow. When she finally stepped back, she saw not the king's commissioned scene, but a breathtaking landscape of interconnected harmony that moved the soul. She was certain she had failed. Yet when the king's messenger saw it, he wept. "It is the very essence of the kingdom's heart," he said. "How did you know?" Anya hadn't known. She had simply stopped forcing an image and allowed the essence to flow through her hands. Her initial effort was forceful intention. Her final masterpiece was clear intention, an intention not for a specific picture, but for the expression of beauty and truth itself. The result was far greater than the plan. So, how do we cultivate this in daily life? We practice setting the compass, not charting every wave. You are the captain of a ship. Your clear intention, "I am moving toward peace, I am open to creative expression, I am a vessel for love," is setting your compass to true north. This is your syncopa. Once set, you do not need to obsess over the exact route. You don't need to control every wave, every gust of wind. Your job is to tend your ship, yourself. Keep the compass in sight, and make course corrections from a place of calm observation. The ocean, the universe, will provide the currents, the winds, the signs. It knows how to get you to the waters that match your destination. Forcing a specific route in stormy weather often leads to shipwreck. Trusting the compass and navigating with presence leads you to shores you couldn't have imagined. Let us explore a final metaphor for this part, the bamboo gate. Picture a simple gate in a garden wall, made of bamboo. It is not locked. It swings freely on its hinges. But it only opens inward. You stand outside the garden of your desired reality, a place of peace, abundance, joy. You can push against the gate all day with all your might. You can strain, sweat, and shout. But pushing only keeps it shut. The action that opens it is counterintuitive. You must step back. You must create space. You must then pull gently toward you. The gate swings open effortlessly. Your striving, your pushing on life, is you trying to force the gate inward by pushing. Your clear intention, born from calm and trust, is the act of stepping back and creating the space for the natural pull of grace to open it. You stop pushing on the universe. You allow the universe to pull you in. As we pause here, I invite you to a practice. Think of a deep desire. Now, let go of the specific, detailed movie of how it should look. Instead, find the feeling at the core of it. Is it security? Freedom? Connection? Creative flow? Hold that feeling in your heart space. That feeling is your true north. That is your compass heading. Whisper it inwardly, "My compass is set toward the feeling." Now, imagine placing that compass on the dashboard of your ship. Your work is done for now. You have set the direction. You can relax. You don't need to steer frantically. Just breathe, and feel what it's like to be on the journey, heading in that true direction. This is the beginning of clear intention. We arrive now at a threshold, a place of beautiful paradox. We have cultivated calm, set our compass, and learned to observe the weather from the mountain. Now comes the sacred, final gesture, the release of the hand that holds the compass. This is the essence of non-attachment, or aparigraha in the broader wisdom traditions. It is the understanding that even your most beautiful intention must be laid upon the altar of the unknown. You have aimed the arrow with a clear eye and a steady heart. Now, you must let it fly into the wind, trusting that the wind itself is part of the guidance. This is not abandonment of your desire. It is the supreme act of faith in an intelligence larger than your own planning mind. There is a profound story in Buddhism about a man crossing a treacherous river on a raft. The raft is the Dharma, the teachings, the practices. They are essential for the crossing. But upon reaching the far shore, the man, in his gratitude, lifts the heavy raft onto his shoulders and carries it with him into the forest. The Buddha asks, is this wise? The raft was for crossing, not for carrying. Your intentions, your plans, your how, they are the raft. They are necessary tools for a specific passage. But once you have done the work, once you have set the direction from a place of alignment, to continue clinging to the specific vessel is to burden yourself unnecessarily. You must be willing to leave the raft at the shore and walk forward unencumbered, open to the new terrain. I witnessed this principle in the most mundane yet magical way with my own niece when she was learning to walk. She would cling to the coffee table, her knuckles white, her face a mask of determined fear. She believed the table was holding her up. One day, enticed by a colorful toy just out of reach, her desire for the toy overcame her fear of falling. In that instant, her grip on the table loosened. She did not decide to walk. She simply let go of what she thought was supporting her, and her body, which had been ready all along, knew exactly what to do. She took a wobbling, glorious step. Her trust in her own capacity was unlocked not by clinging tighter, but by releasing her hold on the false support. What coffee tables are you clinging to? What structures of control do you believe are holding you up, when in truth they are the only things keeping you from your next step? This is the practice of sacred surrender. It is the conscious uncoupling from the how. It is whispering to the universe, this is my heart's desire. I have done what feels aligned. I now place it in your hands, in your timing, in your wisdom, which I trust is greater than my own. This surrender is not passive, it is the most active trust you can muster. It is the decision to stop digging up the seed to check for roots. Let me share an original story about a master navigator of the ancient Polynesian tradition, who guided voyaging canoes across thousands of miles of open ocean without compass or chart. A student asked him the secret. The navigator said, "You must learn to read the stars, the waves, the flight of birds, the color of the sky. You must know your canoe. And then," he said, pointing to the horizon, "you must know the ocean is not your enemy, but your guide. You set your course by the star, but you do not hold the canoe rigid against the current. You feel the current. You adjust. You allow it to carry you a little east, a little west. You are in a conversation. The destination is fixed in your heart, but the path is a living thing, co-created with the sea. If you fight the current to hold a perfect line, you will exhaust yourself and go nowhere. If you trust the current, it will often take you to a better landing place than you had dreamed. Your intention is the star. Your actions are steering the canoe. Surrender is the art of feeling the current of life and allowing it to be part of the journey, trusting it is conspiring to aid you, not hinder you. This brings us to a tender and powerful metaphor, the kite and the string. Your desire, your dream, is the kite, colorful, soaring, destined for the heights. Your ego mind, with its need for control, wants to be the wind, blowing the kite directly where it wants to go. This never works. It either crashes the kite or tears it apart. Your true role is to be the string, and the hand that holds it. The string is not the wind, it is the conscious, gentle connection. Your hand feels the tugs and pulls. You give it slack when the wind lifts it, you gently reel it in if it dives. You are in a dynamic, sensitive relationship with the wind, which is the universe, the mysterious force that actually provides the lift. You cannot control the wind. But you can, with patience and attentiveness, fly the kite beautifully by responding to it. Letting go means you stop trying to be the wind. You embrace your role as the connected, responsive string. You allow the greater force to provide the power. Your job is to maintain the connection with a relaxed, present grip. So, how do we practice this daily? We engage in the ritual of release. At the end of any period of focused intention or action, a prayer, a work session, a meditation on a goal, consciously close it with a gesture of surrender. It can be a physical gesture, opening your palms face up on your lap. It can be a mental phrase, I have done what I can. The rest is up to life. It is the conscious act of placing the matter on a metaphorical shelf and walking away. You are not forgetting it. You are entrusting it. This breaks the cycle of obsessive mental gnawing. It tells your nervous system, we can rest now. The universe is on it. As we rest here, try this simple ritual. Bring to mind one thing you have been mentally pushing on. Feel the effort in your mind. Now, imagine placing that concern or desire into a small, wooden boat. See yourself carrying this boat to the edge of a wide, calm river. Gently set it on the water. Give it a soft nudge. Watch it begin to drift, carried by the current. You do not know where this river goes. But you trust it leads to the ocean. Your job is to wave goodbye from the shore. Feel the relief of the empty hands. This is sacred surrender. This is how you make space for miracles that operate on a logic beyond your own. We have journeyed together through concepts of calm, intention, timing, and surrender. We have explored the mountain and the weather, the compass and the current, the kite and the string. Now, we arrive at the simplest, yet most profound, destination, the present moment. All paths of Buddhist wisdom ultimately lead here, not to a distant paradise, but to the profound richness of now. The past is a story. The future is a dream. But this breath, this sensation, this awareness. This is the only place where life is actually happening. And it is in this unchanging now that you discover you are already everything you have been seeking. Peace is not a future event. It is the nature of awareness itself, when you stop running from what is. There is a famous saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The difference is not in the action, but in the being that performs the action. The anxious seeker chops wood while thinking of the warmth it will provide later, carries water while worrying if it will be enough. The awakened one chops wood, feeling the texture of the grain, hearing the crisp sound of the split, fully present. They carry water, feeling the cool weight of the bucket, the sway of their gait. They are at peace because they are not elsewhere. Their doing is infused with being. Your ultimate spiritual practice is not to ascend out of your life, but to descend fully into it, into the laundry, the commute, the quiet cup of tea, the difficult conversation, with the full presence of your aware, calm heart. I learned this not on a mountaintop, but in a city park, from an elderly man who fed the same pigeons every day. I, in my rush, saw a mundane, perhaps messy, habit. One day, slowed by a sprained ankle, I sat and truly watched. I saw his total absorption. He knew each pigeon, had names for them. He saw the subtle shifts in their feathers, the unique way each one approached. He was not lost in thought about his past or future. He was in a state of pure, joyful communion with life as it presented itself to him, in the form of fluttering, cooing birds. In that ordinary moment, he was utterly fulfilled. He was not seeking peace, he was peace, because he was fully present. He was the embodiment of the Buddhist teaching, the way is not in the sky. The way is in the heart. This is the integration of all we have discussed, life as a sacred gesture, not a means to an end. When you release the desperate need for a different future, the present moment expands. It becomes spacious enough to hold everything, joy and sorrow, ease and difficulty, without you needing to escape it. From this place, your actions are no longer fueled by the anxiety of not enough, but flow from the fullness of already here. You realize you don't need to attract a different life, you need to wake up to the sacredness of the one you have. Let me leave you with one final, original story, a parable of completion. A seeker heard of a legendary jewel called the heart of the world, said to be hidden in a remote cave, which would grant everlasting peace to its finder. For years, he trekked across deserts, scaled mountains, and crossed rivers. Finally, exhausted and ragged, he found the cave. It was empty except for a smooth, round stone at its center. No glittering gem. In despair, he picked up the ordinary stone and sat down to weep over his wasted life. As he held it, his tears fell upon it, washing away the dust. The warmth of his hand seeped into it. In his utter defeat, all seeking stopped. He just sat, feeling the weight of the stone in his palm, the cool air of the cave, his own breath. And in that quiet, a profound peace settled over him, deeper than any he had ever imagined. He realized the journey had not been to find a jewel, but to exhaust his seeking. The peace was not in a gem, but in the end of the search. The ordinary stone in his hand was the heart of the world. He had carried his own heart, seeking itself everywhere but within. He placed the stone back on the cave floor, bowed to it, and walked home, a free man. He now found the heart of the world in every pebble on the path, in every bowl of rice, in every breath. The treasure was presence. So, as we conclude, this is my invitation to you: stop looking for the jewel. It is already in your hand. Your life, exactly as it is in this moment, with its unfinished tasks, its unresolved pains, its simple pleasures, is the sacred ground. Your awareness that perceives it all is the jewel. You are both the seeker and what is sought. Bring your attention gently to your body, right now. Feel the air moving in and out of your lungs. Notice the sounds around you, not as intrusions, but as part of the tapestry of this moment. Feel the pulse of life within you. This is it. This is the temple. You have always been here. There is no more practice to do, only a being to be. No more concept to grasp, only a reality to inhabit. You are the calm mountain. You are the deep ocean. You are the clear note. You are the open hand. Thank you for sharing this journey. May you carry this simple knowing from this place: you are already home. You are already whole. You are already free. Walk gently in the world, and remember, the door to Monk's Temple is always within you. Peace be with you, now and always.